sales is not just about getting in more revenue and pursuing more opportunities. So I'm going to share with you something that I believe is going to empower you to take your prospecting skills to the very next level. And it's this formula called the sales velocity. So if there's just one thing that you should really bear in mind, it is this thing called the sales velocity. Now, what's the sales velocity? Now, according to sales velocity, there are 4 components that we need to be aware of. Now, because when you're able to improve on these 4 different components when you are prospecting, now that will ultimately improve your sales velocity. First of all, the number of deals that we are pursuing, the quantity, and the number of opportunities. Now, that we talked about earlier on. Now, second thing is this, because not just the quantity of deals we are interested in. How many of you would agree with me that to pursue a $100,000 deal is probably is worth our time compared to, let's say, we are pursuing a $10,000 deal? Now, what is that? That is called the average deal value. What is the average deal value that you're currently pursuing? And then, of course, that leads me to the next component, which is called the win rate. Now, what are your win rate like? Out of 10 prospects that you typically meet, how many of these prospects do you ultimately turn into your customers? Now, that's called your win rate. So, of course, the higher your deal, of the number of opportunities that you bring in, the deals, the value, average deal value, as well as your win rate, the higher your sales velocity. Nonetheless, there will be one component that could ultimately affect your sales velocity. And this is the one component that you want to keep it low, unlike the previous 3 components. Now, what is it? Is this thing called the length of the sales cycle. So what is the length of sales cycle? Now, it simply means to say the average time that we typically need to take to close a deal. So the lower it is, the better it is. Now, some of you might be asking, so Jackie, how can I typically use this sales velocity to help me to improve my prospecting skills during this pandemic season? So let me share with you another great story here, a true story.